As Kyiv announces advances into Belgorod, Russia, Moscow continues its deadly Ukrainian missile and drone strikes. French President Emmanuel Macron has hosted another round of talks in the hopes of forming government. As Kyiv announces advances into Belgorod, Russia, Moscow continued its missile and drone strikes on Ukraine on Tuesday, killing 5 people. Residents of Zaporizhia, one of the worst-hit regions, said houses and buildings were damaged.
Крыша побита, стенка отошел от этого, его с фундамента надо будет ломать, снова построить. Внутри все разбито. Можно сказать, что снова надо строить.
Внутрі нічого не повреждало, на всіх вікнах повилітали і двері були зламані. Ми чули, ми дуже злякалися діти, вони вже відчували в своїх ліжечках. Дуже хочеться, щоб наші діти не засинали під сирен. Це дуже страшно.
Meanwhile, a top Ukraine army chief says the country's troops now control nearly 1,300 square kilometers of Russia's Kursk region. One Ukrainian soldier is unsure how long they'll hold the territory for.
Бої йдуть нон-стоп по всій території. Є місця, де противник ще малими групами намагається вийти до своїх, адже просування в перші дні було дуже швидким і багато кого залишили просто спозаду. На майбутнє не знаю. Можливо, росіяни якось зберуть якісь сили.
Moscow's Ministry of Defense released footage allegedly showing armed forces destroying Ukrainian weapon depots. Moscow says over 6,000 Ukrainian troops were injured or killed in Kursk. French President Emmanuel Macron is in the throes of once again trying to form government, as our correspondent from Paris explains.
France's political headache is far from being resolved. French President Emmanuel Macron relaunched a series of marathon discussions on Tuesday with various different parties in the hopes of forming a new government. On Tuesday, he received the independent and centrist group called Lyot, and on Wednesday he will be receiving the conservative right-wing party that was recently renamed as the Republican Right. However, the New Popular Front, the left-wing coalition that won the most seats in the snap parliamentary elections but came short of an absolute majority, has refused to participate in these talks after Macron rejected the possibility of any left-wing government, claiming that it could endanger institutional stability as it would not survive a confidence vote in parliament. But with the upcoming Paralympics opening ceremony on Wednesday night and Macron's visit to Serbia at the end of the week, while naming a prime minister is becoming more and more urgent, and that's because the resigning government under the Prime Minister Gabriel Attal has now been handling current affairs for more than 40 days. And it's an unprecedented situation in France since the post-war period. And the clock is also really ticking because the government needs to present the crucial nation's budget plan by October 1st. And right now, it's looking like France is heading towards a hung parliament with none of the 3 main central political blocs looking like they want to form any sort of coalition. Sofia Katsenkova reporting from Paris for Euronews.
After a failed Syrian asylum seeker killed 3 festival goers here in the city of Solingen, Chancellor Olaf Scholz is saying that questions must be answered as to why the man hadn't already been deported. When officials tried to take him from his refugee accommodation and deport him to Bulgaria last year, he was nowhere to be found. And now, feeling the pressure from the far right, it's not just Germany that's talking tough on deportation. Other governments in Europe are too.
Many governments around the Council, which is an institution, which is an EU institution, are obsessed with security, with the security dimension towards migration. And more than that, we are all aware in the European Parliament that there are many governments who see migration as a kind of a threat, as a kind of a menace, as a kind of a crisis to EU security or to EU identity.
The Migration and Asylum Pact, finally approved in May after almost 4 years of negotiations, already seems to be unsatisfactory for some European states. They're asking for exemptions and new measures on deportations. And it's this last point that seems to be a crucial one.
Some member states are aiming at the rules governing return of rejected asylum seekers to countries of origin or other transit countries. But also von der Leyen herself, the president of the Commission, has said very explicitly that she aims at finding a novel approach, at defining a novel approach to returns.
Another side of the coin for European countries is getting Mediterranean states to stop migrants setting out for Europe in the first place. And recently, the European Commission has entered into agreements with Tunisia, Morocco and Egypt to achieve this.
I think it's very likely that we will see a strong push towards externalization, so the outsourcing of responsibilities to third countries in the next cycle. That being said, first of all, it takes two to tango. There must be cooperation with third countries on these issues, and very few third countries are willing to cooperate because domestically these are seen by most third countries as divisive and unpopular.
Meanwhile, 8 states have suspended the free movement rule that's at the heart of the border-free Schengen area for much longer than they're legally allowed to. A second caretaker government, led by Prime Minister Dimitar Glavchev, has been sworn in Bulgaria as the country prepares for its 7th election in 3 years. President Rumen Radev announced the election will take place on the 27th of October, attempting once more to overcome the political impasse caused by minority governments, failed coalitions and low voter turnout.
Когато избирателната активност е ниска, както е напоследък, а няма гаранция, че ще бъде на следващите избори по-висока, тогава именно честността на вота придобива огромна тежест. Второ мнение. И аз за това бях категоричен и продължавам да настоявам борбата с купения и контролиран вод да бъде издигната в приоритет.
Apart from ensuring fair elections in October, a top priority for the caretaker cabinet is the appointment of a new Bulgarian European Commissioner before the deadline on Friday. The GERB party, which finished first in the June elections but has only 68 legislators in the 240-seat National Assembly, has put forward former Foreign Minister Ekaterina Zakharieva. Other names being considered include the former chairman of the Party of European Socialists, Sergei Stanishev, and the incumbent Iliana Ivanova, who is favoured by Ursula von der Leyen and the EU Commission.
The dramatic increase of migrants to Spain's Canary Islands has prompted calls for action.
Una carta a la presidenta de la Comisión Europea, a Ursula von der Leyen, para invitarla a conocer de primera mano cuál es la situación migratoria que está viviendo Canarias.
This was the announcement from the Canarian government in response to a 126% increase in dinghies arriving from Africa. As of early August, over 22,300 people have been recorded.
La ruta migratoria se intensifica en los últimos meses del año. Las mejoras en la navegabilidad dentro de una ruta que es peligrosa y que es letal, pues digamos que hace que tengamos unas previsiones de mayor intensificación. Personas principalmente de origen maliense, seguidas personas marroquíes, senegalesas, gambianas y mauritanas.
More than 4,800 people have died this year across the Atlantic, making it the deadliest migratory route.
Una ruta del Atlántico en el que fallece una persona cada 45 minutos.
The ocean swallows the lives of those who try to reach Europe in crossings of up to a week. They risk their lives for several reasons.
Personas están en una situación de empobrecimiento brutal, falta de horizonte vital, situaciones de persecución, conflicto bélico, hace que la gente salga. Luego podemos hablar de otro tipo de consideraciones y por supuesto no podemos centrar el mensaje en que se debe a la actividad o la actuación de las mafias.
Lala is a lawyer specialized in migration. She is one of the professionals who assists those who arrive disoriented to the island of Lanzarote.
Ninguna de las personas de estas 40.000 que sobrevivieron el año pasado en Canarias quería venir de la manera en la que vino, quería venir violentando la frontera y haciéndolo de manera irregular. Pero a muchas de esas personas, cuando les preguntamos por políticas de visado, señalan que es imposible, que hay un negocio detrás.
The situation is further complicated with migrant minors arriving alone. In order to refer them to other parts of Spain, they have to have the approval of those territories.
Canarias está asumiendo más de 6.000 menores que llegan solos, sin contar en otros centros de menores, porque el resto de comunidades autónomas no está dispuesta a hacerlo. ¿Esto qué hace al final? Que los menores se quedan atrapados en Canarias.
Trapped and suffocated because the authorized centers cannot cope. In 1 year, the islands have gone from 36 centers to 81.
O sea, Canarias no puede seguir soportando en solitario toda esta presión, ni los menores tienen que seguir viendo cómo su proyecto de integración, que es al que tienen derecho, se ve truncado.
Experts say that in addition to diplomacy, there is a need for policies in the countries of origin to improve the lives of these people.
La visita del presidente Sánchez a los países emisores tiene como objetivo frenar el flujo migratorio a Canarias. Un flujo migratorio que deja esta otra imagen, la de los cementerios de cayucos, una realidad tangible que los vecinos de Areinaga ven a diario. Desde Gran Canaria para Euronews, Efren Hernández.
Rock legends Oasis have announced they will be reuniting for the first time since 2009 and will play reunion shows next year in a world tour. Both Noel and Liam Gallagher shared the news of the Oasis Live 25 tour on their social media sites. Though they've called it a world tour, the shows confirmed so far include dates only in the UK and Ireland in July and August 2025. Tickets go on sale this Saturday.